Today, I'm pleased to make a truly historic announcement in our battle against the China virus that will save countless lives. Convalescent, strong antibodies from the blood of recovered patients to help treat patients battling a current infection. Convalescent is the only possible, and it's only made possible because of Operation Convalescent. Today, I'm pleased to make a truly historic announcement in our battle against the China virus that will save countless lives. We provided $48 million to fund the Mayo Clinic study that...
Nobody that's a leader would not do what I did. And I know there's a risk, there's a danger, but that's okay. I just left Walter Reed Medical Center. And I learned so much of coronavirus. Don't be afraid of it. You're gonna beat it. We have the best medical equipment. Don't be afraid of it. Felt great, like better than I have in a long time. Don't be afraid of it. I didn't feel so good. Don't be afraid of it. You're gonna beat it. We have the coronavirus. Don't be afraid of it. And now I'm better, and maybe I'm immune. I don't know. Be afraid of it. Don't let it dominate. Don't let it take over your lives. Be afraid of it. Don't let that happen. We're the greatest country in the world. Be afraid of it. As your leader, I had to do that. I knew there's danger to it, but I had to do it. But don't let it dominate your lives. Get out there. Be careful. We have the best medicines in the world, and it all happened very shortly, and they're all getting approved, and the vaccines are coming momentarily.
All right, welcome everybody. What a day, a really incredible day. We're down to the last, really the last 24 hours of campaigning. Donald Trump planning on going late tonight. He actually has, let's pull up his schedule. The schedule's already a mess, just so everybody knows, but Trump actually has a rally scheduled for 11 p.m. Eastern tonight. I can only imagine that that will start after midnight. I mean, he's running so far behind every single day as usual. I would assume that if this 11 p.m. rally starts before midnight, I would be shocked, completely and totally shocked. But in any case, we are right now waiting on Joe Biden to deliver remarks at a drive-in event in Philadelphia, scheduled for 17 minutes from now, and waiting on Donald Trump in North Carolina. Now, Trump was supposed to leave Dubuque, Iowa, almost 2 hours ago. I think he only left about a half hour ago. So it's completely unpredictable where Trump is and what the schedule is going to be. If we wanted to, we could always see what the situation was on this channel, Right Side Broadcasting. This is actually not satire, but I'll just let you guys listen to a few seconds of it. This is in Hickory, North Carolina. Take a listen. This is not satire.
Auburn, Alabama, 36830, and that is also on our website, so you guys can find that there. And please follow us on social media and share this stream. There's some lights coming in, they're super bright, but sorry, it's a little blinding.
Anyway, so as you can see, really a lot of high-level important ideas being churned in Hickory, North Carolina by Right Side Broadcasting right now. And then in any case, like I said, we've got a Joe Biden event, we have a Donald Trump event, and we have so many other things to discuss. I even have a new fresh track for you guys today. I have memes that I meant to play or to show yesterday for you, which I didn't get. I just forgot about them. We're going to look at polling. We're going to look at maps. I actually increasingly think that Joe Biden's path to victory does not include Florida nor Florida. I think both Florida and Florida are going to go to Trump, but I still see a path for Joe Biden regardless. So we're going to get to that in a little bit. I want to review my thoughts on the Jesse Lee Peterson gay porn situation. I know that Stephen Kenneth Destiny Bunnell II was at a Trump rally last night, and I guess there were some moments that got a little dicey, which I would love to review. If someone can send me some of the clips, like I was sent like an hour stream, and I was just so busy preparing for you guys that I didn't have time to find the exact moment. But I guess Stephen was accosted yesterday at a Trump rally. So we're going to look at that. And we may open the phone lines. We have a very modest goal of 100 website members and Twitch subs. All together, we're wrapping it all tight in a little bow, and we're going to do it all. And that's going to be really great. Maybe we'll get some phone lines opened. But where to even start? Let me, as people are kind of filing in with their heads down, depressed about what may happen, I'll just read a few super chats and then we'll get to other things. Joe wants to know if Trump can just be put in a nursing home with a mock-up of the Oval Office and tell him he was reelected. Not a bad idea. Bustanu says, I think results will be tight. Hope I'm wrong. If Trump holds Florida, overperforms in the Rust Belt, bad night. Not very likely, but a real possibility. I'll get to that momentarily. Samuel says, vote for Pedro from Columbia, spelled, of course, like Columbia University rather than the country. Jacob says, thoughts on Trump plan to prematurely declare victory. Should people make plans to be in the streets for protest? Yeah, so I do want to spend some time talking about that. Where was this? So listen. As I've been predicting for a long time at this point, the great Jonathan Swan from Axios and HBO fame has spoken to sources close to Trump that are admitting Trump's plan is to declare a premature victory. And President Trump has told, I'm going to comment on this in more detail tomorrow. President Trump has told confidants he'll declare victory on Tuesday night if it looks like he's ahead, quote, ahead, according to 3 sources. That's even if the Electoral College outcome still hinges on a large number of uncounted votes in states like Pennsylvania. Trump has privately talked through this scenario in some detail in the last few weeks, describing plans to walk up to a podium on election night and declare that he has won. Of course he's going to. Of course he's going to. For this to happen, his allies expect he would need to either win or have a commanding lead in Ohio, Florida, North Carolina, Texas, Iowa, Arizona, and Georgia. I don't know that it's all of these. It's just he has to at least be able to claim that he's in it in a few of these. That's my sense. Trump's team is preparing to falsely claim that mail-in ballots counted after November 3rd, a legitimate count expected to favor Democrats, are evidence of election fraud. Yeah, Trump's going to say any ballots not in can't be counted. He's going to try to file lawsuits. He's going to try to use courts all the way up to the Supreme Court if necessary. Many prognosticators say on election night, Trump will likely appear ahead in Pennsylvania, though the state's final outcome could change substantially as mail-in ballots are counted over the following days. Trump's team is preparing to baselessly claim that if that process changes the outcome in Pennsylvania from the picture on election night, then Democrats would have, quote, stolen the election. Trump's advisors have been laying the groundwork for this strategy for weeks, but this is the first account of Trump explicitly discussing his election night intentions. So there's absolutely nothing in that article that is a surprise to anybody. If you've been following this, you know that that has been the plan all along. And by the way, I should mention, if the worst for Trump should happen and he's way down to Joe Biden, if Joe Biden has a huge lead, then Trump will just say the opposite. He'll say, whoa, we need to count every vote. There's still time. And then he will try some kind of legal manipulation to extend the process as much as possible and then kind of try to figure it out. So in any case, prepare for subterfuge. OK, prepare for subterfuge. OK, other super chats coming in, and there are a lot of them. Jeb says, new revelations in the UK about Cambridge Analytica and Trump last week. Do you think similar ads could manipulate some people into voting Trump in 2020? Of course. Of course. Jane sends a thank you. Sadiq says, I really enjoy watching your live coverage of rallies and debates. God bless you, brother. Love from Canada. Thank you. Robert says, any thoughts on Trump supporters shooting 3 people over some kids messing with his Trump signs in Topeka? I haven't heard of it, but what we do know is that there has already been violence against the Biden campaign. a group of Trump flag waving trucks surrounding a Biden bus in Texas. There was even a sideswipe incident. Donald Trump then tweeted with the video, "I love Texas," which is an incitement to violence. Also saying during a rally last night that surrounding Biden vehicles with trucks is the new hot thing. So encouraging violence at this point. It's the worst. All of our worst fears are coming true. All of our worst fears are coming true. And on that note, by the way, if you're just joining us, we are waiting for Joe Biden in about 10 minutes. Trump's scheduled for 40 minutes from now. I would guess it'll be more like an hour and 40 minutes from now based on how late he's running. I have a new song, okay? This one is not from Joe Woodward. Joe Woodward, of course, the composer of such David Pakman Show hits as, wait, where are they here? Joe Woodward, of course, composed David Pakman is a beta male. She goes to the best college. Don't be afraid of it. And Plasma. This is a new submission. Okay. New composer. This is Jethro Bradley. You know how Trump often says suppression polls? When he says it, it does sort of sound like suppression balls. And Jethro put this song together for us, and it is a good one. Another participant, player 2, has entered the game. Take a listen to this.
They want to go out and they want to touch, they want to vote. I'm working my ass off here. I'm soaking wet already. Suppression balls. You can't hold them. I'm soaking wet already. Suppression balls. Now yesterday we had 3 big ones, really big. Suppression balls. Hey, don't give me the umbrella. I'm soaking wet already. But they put numbers, you know, they're called suppression. Suppression balls. They make you like feel badly. So you say to your wife or you say to your husband, darling, let's go out to dinner and then we'll come back. We love our president. But, you know, the polls say he can't win. Well, right now we're leading in almost everywhere. We're leading. Well, I'm soaking wet already. Suppression balls. Red wave. I'm soaking wet already. Suppression balls. Suppression balls.
So anyway, if clubs ever open back up, I think that is going to be the dance song of whatever year we get past the virus. I expect to see this. I think all the top DJs, by the way, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Lars Behrenroth, big time DJ, fan of the David Pakman Show. I think this is the type of thing Lars would be very likely, very, very likely to be spinning at all the clubs. So anyway, that's going on. And otherwise, we have a bunch of events. I'm glad you're joining me. We are going to look at a lot of different things here. Yeah, that one, you want that song to be longer. You want it to just go on for sure. Okay, let me do a few thank yous. Guys, we're throwing everything at the wall today. Whoa, excuse me. I just hit my mic stand. I don't know if that was loud, but I apologize. We're throwing everything at the wall today to see what sticks. I want to say thanks to Jonathan Sibley, who's new member number 1 today. Stephanie Melfi is new member number 2. Corbin Ordell is new member number 3. A has pledged on Patreon. We're literally counting everything today. That's number 4. And thanks to Twitch, we also have 4 new Twitch subs, which already gets us to 8 and puts us in a very strong position to get things going. Okay, a few other super chats here. Let's see what we've got. I Hate Juice says, let's go, Joe. Thanks, D. Pakman, for all you do. Physics Rigger says, David, could you please try and actually do some analysis? Saying, could you imagine over and over is useless. Okay, yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen any of the clips I do. But physics, by all means, remember, if you're not pleased with anything I'm doing, you're under no obligation to watch. Tyler in the Resident says, sir, have you looked very strongly at Texas early voting surpassing 2016 total? Can't wait for your election night coverage. Thank you. Yeah, we have looked at that. Number of clips about it. Annunziata says you should watch the Van Jones TED chat about how Trump could steal the election by not conceding and a lot more. It was interesting. I Love Mika Tan says, hey, David, here's $5. Thanks for your interview with Barbara Fries on her book, Industrial Strength Denial. The book was excellent. Thank you. Il Scooch says, thanks for the coverage and commentary of these maelstroms. Your dry humor moistens my cold lefty heart. Wow. Attila says, hey, David, as some numbers are pretty close, do you think there's more hiding Trump voters or Biden voters? Any historical data on this? I don't think that the election will come down to shy voters. I think the election will come down to whether people shift last minute, voter intimidation, whether all votes are counted, etc. But I guess this is as good an opportunity as any to pull up my map again. I am sort of like narrowing down on what my most likely path to victory would be for each candidate. And I'm increasingly thinking that Florida's going red. And the reason I'm thinking that is some recent Florida polls seem to be going a little bit better for Trump than they had been. And Trump having momentum in Florida heading into the election doesn't make me super confident. And some Democratic strategists on the ground in Florida have said to me completely off the record, and obviously I won't say who it is, that they believe the existing early numbers are not that great, actually, for Joe Biden. Now, of course, if you look at the GitHub data on early voting in Florida, you see, well, hold on. Total voted Democrats 39, Republicans 38. What I'm being told, and again, this is all speculative, but we want to go in as cautiously as possible. The independents, which make up 21% of the vote so far, the belief is that the independents may be sliding a little bit in the direction of Trump. So just for and a lot of them are Latino voters, as people in the Twitch chat are pointing out. That's exactly right. So my thought is we don't count on Florida. So then as we start filling in the map start adjudicating some of these for each candidate, you very quickly start to get a scenario. New York, of course, these are all going red. This is blue, red, 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 blue, 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 red, 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 blue, red, red, blue, red, 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 red. So Minnesota, I believe, is going blue. South Carolina, of course, red. I believe in the end, you can't count. If a Democrat has a path that depends on Texas, I think it's a bad idea. OK, so let's just for our sake assume that Texas and Florida and Ohio, just assume we don't have any of them. OK, it actually doesn't look that bad for Joe Biden. I think Iowa, we have to assume, goes red. I do think Nevada is going to go blue. Let's even assume Arizona goes red and Georgia goes red. It's actually still okay for Joe Biden. I think North Carolina is going to go to Biden. In fact, at this point, I see North Carolina as more likely blue than I see Florida going blue. You guys can disagree with me on that if you want. And then what you have is a situation where Biden needs 2 out of 3 of these remaining states. If Biden gets Wisconsin and Michigan, Trump can take Pennsylvania. If Trump gets Michigan, but Biden gets Pennsylvania, he still wins. And if Trump were to get Wisconsin and Biden gets Michigan and Pennsylvania, Biden wins. I actually think that Wisconsin's going blue and Michigan is the only one that might go red. Let me pull up and I'll tell you why I say that. Wisconsin, Trump, Biden. Wisconsin does not appear to be close right now. Biden plus 6.6. And importantly, there is no momentum for Trump. That was one of the things a lot of people forget. In 2016, yes, the polls said Hillary was winning Michigan and Wisconsin, but Trump had momentum going into Election Day, where one would say, well, if there had been 3 more days of polls, they might have been tied. In Michigan, on the other hand, if you look at the latest polling, Trump-Biden, Biden is still winning Michigan by almost as much as Wisconsin, but Trump is spiking. And this is why I say if Trump is to win Wisconsin or Michigan, I think it's Michigan that it would be. And then you have Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania, I'm not even pretending to know what's going to happen in Pennsylvania. Biden has a lead in Pennsylvania, but there is such unpredictability there. So that's where I'm getting to. Like, if you say, David, what's a conservative but realistic win for Joe Biden that assumes Trump does better than he's polling? This is it. It's all these maybes, Texas and Georgia and Florida, they go to Trump. Trump gets Ohio, and Trump even gets Michigan. But then with Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, Joe Biden wins. So this is like my thought process going in. Now, of course, it could get much better. It could get much better for Biden. Biden could get Arizona. Biden could get Florida. Biden could get Michigan. Biden could get Ohio. Biden could get Georgia. Biden could get Texas. But if you're asking me just even odds who wins, I think Biden wins, and he of course could lose. If you say now you give me odds, do I think Biden gets 400 electoral votes the way some people are saying? Absolutely not. Because as you can see, all of the paths to 400 require running the table and taking Texas and Georgia. I don't know any other way. I mean, if he doesn't get Texas and Georgia, there's people saying, what if South Carolina goes blue and then Iowa could go blue? I don't see anything else. I don't see any path to 400 for Biden if he doesn't get Texas. Okay, so Texas and these others without Georgia. I don't even think we should be thinking about Biden 400. No way. And again, yeah, as people are saying, whoever said South Carolina might go blue, I think there's no way in hell. Other maybes would be Nebraska 2nd District could be one that goes to Biden. There's the idea that maybe a district in Maine could go to Trump. I just really don't think we should be thinking about those scenarios. I think much more likely is something that ends up looking like this. And then hold on, what else? Trump might even have this. And Trump might even have this. Trump could even have this. And even that, right? Like this would be very, very close. This is like Trump gets everything. Trump gets everything, but Biden ekes out 2 out of these 3 states, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. So anyway, that's probably enough map stuff for right now. We are live and waiting for Joe Biden. We are live and waiting for Donald Trump. We've got a whole bunch of different things going on, and I'm glad that you are with me today. Phones, people asking again about phones. Yes, I will look at opening up phones. We do have a goal of 100 website members and Twitch subs, and we are currently at 1169 on Twitch. Puts us at 14. Okay. I hope you answer from Oceanova says, my, oh my, I hope you answer from Minnesota today. I don't know what the hell that means, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. A few other things. I do have a few memes I didn't get to yesterday. Now, some of you saw my commentary on expanding the court. Somebody made this meme, pack the court. Okay, I already showed that one before. This is David Plackman. And of course, beta male DDS. Jesse Lee Peterson, he is a Christian pastor. Many of you don't know his formal training is actually in dentistry. And so this is David Plackman. David Plackman. And Jesse Lee Peterson, beta male DDS. And then, okay, I guess this is on the video game Pac-Man theme. Fair enough. And so that's that. Okay, we got those out of the way, so that's done. Do I have any voicemails available? The only voicemail I have available is one I did play already the other day, but in case some people didn't hear it, take a little bit of a listen to this troll call. This is what we're fighting, guys. This is what we're fighting. Take a listen to this. Hold on, where is it? Somewhere here. Where is my voicemail now? Ah, here it is.
Hey, Prickless, you're a real scumbag. Why don't you go back to Venezuela, you communist asshole? Pack the court. We're not packing the court. We're legitimately replacing Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Packing the court is adding more than 9 people, you jackass. Why don't you take a civics course? Stick that mic right up your ass, you stupid shit. You teach? I'd pull my kids out of school if I knew you were anywhere near them. You're more than likely a pervert and a child molester too, you idiot.
Right.
What do they do? You look at there and wonder what a little dick looks like. Because you don't even have one. You got a cunt. You don't even have balls.
Balls. Anyway, so that's a regular caller. That's a lot of projection. And then, people are liking the voicemails. Let me just check. I normally screen voicemails before we play them, but let me see if any of our frequent trolls are here. If anybody else is going to mention balls, then we're going to have to look at it. Let's see. Oh, I might have some. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I've mentioned before this caller, Troy York, who calls as different fake names. Actually, let me just keep an eye on whether Joe Biden is live. He's not live yet. Here's just a guy who calls with fake names constantly.
Hey, David. This is Woody Underwood. Hey, I'm just wondering what you thought. I haven't heard you mention much of it, but what you thought of Barack Obama Hussein campaigning so heavily in the final weeks of the election.
So this same guy then will call back with a different name. Actually, he called back with Woody Underwood a bunch of times, but then he'll call back and then he'll use his real name.
Yeah, we must do everything in our power to prevent a Joe Biden presidency. This is Troy York, and I am putting forward on my algorithms and my computer
algorithms. Anyway, he does go into Marxist socialists later.
Lock down and lock up Europeans. And I think you'll see many massive revolutions against leftist governments and those who are in cahoots with the country.
Okay. So anyway, that's that. What else do we have? Oh, I think this is the San Antonio troll. Let's listen to that.
Hey, Pac-Man, I got a quick question. So I wanted to know, you make the claim that Democrats are for the little guy. They're for the worker, the American worker.
This guy is known for, oh God, people are calling the voicemail line. This guy is known for calling in and arguing against things I've never even discussed. Like, I've never made the general claim that Democrats are for the little guy. I'm not so naive to think politics is that simple, but let's listen to a little more.
Middle class. So I just was curious, who are the 3 richest people in America and how are they voting this year? Yeah, that's an easy thing. That's that question rocks. It slaps. Oof, that's tough.
Yeah, Bill Gates, I guess, is voting for Biden, which means Democrats aren't for the middle class, which is not something I've said anyway. It's very, very weird. Okay, let me see if I have any other trolls that called in. Taking a quick look here. That's probably good for now. Wow, we have 300 voicemails from the weekend. People wonder, sometimes people will leave a voicemail and then like a day later they call and they're like, David, I haven't heard my voicemail on the show yet. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, we got 300 voicemails and we air 4 a week. It's a little bit difficult. All right, good. So we've gotten that out of the way. Very much appreciated. Let me say a few other thank yous. I guess no, I don't have other thank yous, but there are 4 more Twitch subs, which put us at 19. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. And we're standing by for Trump and we're standing by for Joe Biden and a lot of different things. Okay. What else did I have planned here? Oh, latest projections from 538 and others. So let's see. I don't even look at this stuff. It just doesn't really matter because everybody has to vote. Okay. So I guess 538 says 10 in 100 chance that Trump wins, 89 in 100 chance of Biden. And then I guess a 1 in 100 chance. That's this little gray scenario of 269 to 269. Whatever. They say that the chance of winning has increased for Biden over time. The electoral vote projection is 347 to 191. And the popular vote projection is 53.3 to 45.5, which is about a 7.8 margin, which would be a historic margin. Check my math on that. And then they believe there's only a 3% chance of Trump taking the popular vote. I think that that's about right. I don't think there's any way in hell Trump takes the popular vote. Then you have the Princeton Election Consortium run by Sam Wong. He has it at Biden 353 electoral votes. Wait, so how does that compare to this? This was 347. Okay, very similar. He has it as Senate ends up 53 Dems, 47 Republicans. House control, Democrats plus 5%. And I don't really know what President ME2 means. Moneyball. Oh, I guess so for Trump, second main district, Nevada, Arizona are important. Okay, so that's what we have as of right now. And again, what does this mean? It means absolutely nothing. We just must vote. Everybody must vote. Every single person needs to vote. That is it. That is it. That's all that needs to happen. Okay. Other super chats. Let me get to some of these. Rick says, if there is a state that goes into a recount, which one do you think it would be? So when I think about that question, I'm thinking, nobody's going to recount Idaho because Idaho is not going to make a difference and it's not likely to be close. So if you ask me what state is likely to be a deciding state and lends itself to hijinks based on what's going on, I don't think it's Florida. I think it's Pennsylvania, actually. Or as Trump says, Pennsylvania. I say Pennsylvania. Trump says Pennsylvania. I think that if I know people are saying Florida, Texas, etc. If you're saying just pick one, I think it's Pennsylvania. Okay. Marcus, thanks for the super chat. Maddie says, I think that guy needs plasma. Could you imagine? Alyssa says, David, I've noticed businesses and apartments boarding up windows for election night. My sister's a pharmacist and has to be prepared for riots. What do you think will happen when, if Biden wins, or vice versa? I think either way, there's a real chance of violence. I hate to say it. I really do. But I think no matter who wins, there is a significant chance that there is violence. We will be in the bunker, actually. And, we have this secondary and tertiary studio. And I even may be going to the tertiary studio on election night. And it is, we have these bunkers in the United States and similar countries. Let me put it that way. So we have a lot of bunker. I'm going to be bunker boy, essentially. We have a lot of very powerful things going on. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, I've actually addressed this before on the show. I don't really want to call more attention to it now, but let's just put it that way. Alex Kepke says, since we spend more on military than any other country, why do we still have 40,000 homeless veterans every day? That's a great question. That's a great question, to which I don't have an answer. Daniel Krieger says Jesse Lee Peterson accidentally came out of the closet. Alpha. Yeah, I have that video. And he didn't accidentally come out of the closet, but there is some controversy involving Jesse Lee, and we're going to talk about it soon, very, very soon. Let's see what else we've got. Greedo says, if Trump loses the election, where will his cult focus their energy? Maybe on violent protests, and that's what scares me. Valerie says, this is a dark time. Thanks for the humor, support, intelligence, and guidance. Sujan Chakraborty says, Narendra Modi and Donald Trump are two sides of the same coin. One down, one more to go. Paul Eckel, with an extremely powerful $50 super chat, says, love the $70,000 a year Trump wig photos. Yes, those are good. Megan lives in Naples, Florida, says, all I see are Trump signs. Even our local grocery store has a Trump and Melania cardboard life-size cutout. Again, like I said earlier, this is why I am thinking increasingly of a Biden victory that does not include Florida. That is why, my friends. I think if Biden gets Florida, it's over. But I'm increasingly thinking of a Biden victory that doesn't include it. That's the unfortunate reality. Okay, Unknown Geek says, David, do you have any personal favorite rappers or hip hop projects? If not, how about longtime favorite musicians? Oh my goodness, we could fill a reasonably sized pamphlet with all of my favorite artists. There are a lot. Hold on a second, guys. We're dropping a ban hammer, I think. Ban hammer. Man, it's just so sad to see so many people getting banned. I have to say, by the way, there are times when I will see like an anti-Semitic message or something calling me the K word or saying, David, go back to Mexico, even though I'm from Argentina or whatever. The moderators get to it so quickly. It's really stunning that some of these moderators are very quick, very, very quick to drop the ban hammer when it is warranted, And I like that. Okay. So personal, listen, I'm a big Tupac guy. If you go back even further, you've got Grandmaster Flash. What else am I a fan of? There's just so much different stuff. I mean, I couldn't even name all of my favorite rappers and different music, but that'll be maybe for another. Maybe that'll be for a crossover stream with Anthony Fantano. I think that's an idea. That's something we could look at. Okay. David, have you covered Trafalgar Group's polls recently? No, I don't think they're worth much, so I've not been paying particular attention to them. Matthias says, is it positive for Biden that Obama's campaigning? Absolutely. Absolutely. Sarang says, as an Indian, really wanted to know your thoughts on a Biden presidency in terms of foreign policy towards India, especially given the threat we face from China and Pakistan at our borders. I don't know much about what Biden's policy would be towards India, so I really wouldn't be the right person to comment on that. But I think it's an important question. Crobato, where did that go? Crobato says, I'm the only Dem in my Trump-loving family in Oklahoma. Thanks for hosting a place for folks like me to go for intelligent and honest commentary. Glad to have you here. Very much glad to have you here. Okay, let's, I continue to see people asking about the phones. Listen, let me be very transparent with you guys. We are expecting a dramatic decline in YouTube revenue and ad-based revenue after this election, and particularly after December 31st. Why? Ad revenue goes up in the fourth quarter. Ad revenue goes up in election years. The worst times for progressive channels and shows is January right after an election year. January in general is no good, but January after an election year. So we primarily fund ourselves through not through ammo cans of emergency food supply bullshit where I would feel disgusting selling it to you. We don't do that, okay? So I'm not going to sell you ammo cans. I'm not going to sell you 7,000 doses of mashed potatoes. Not going to do any of that shit. We offer memberships at joinpacman.com. Very simple. You get the commercial-free show every day instead of these little clips. You get the bonus show every day, members only. Members-only newsletters, occasional members-only town halls, okay? None of this shit. You see that? You see that oatmeal? I'm not selling you guys oatmeal. It's shit. 25-year shelf life food? No. JoinPacman.com, all right? Coupon code 24, no, how many hours? 48? 48 hours left on this coupon code. 2020 now. Saves you 66%, okay? Go to JoinPacman.com. Grab a membership. When you sign up, this bar will start to fill. And if and when it fills, phones open, I talk to you, okay? And we do that via Discord at davidpacman.com/Discord. Twitch subs will count, okay? So we are now at 1183. That gets us +9 to 28. Love the Twitch subs. Remember, we keep all but 2% of every dollar when you sign up at joinpacman.com. So sincerely, I do hope folks will sign up there. I know some people are saying I should sell, colloidal silver and bonus buckets and all of this stuff. That would be dishonest. That would be completely dishonest. I would never do that. All right. Let's see what else we've got. Okay. Do I have any new Spanish clips? I don't. The only Spanish clip I have is still the one from my Instagram. By the way, this was me in France 2 days ago. Just kidding, guys. It's a global pandemic. This was me in France like a year ago. But anyway, this is the only Spanish clip I have. El público, Jaime, quiere saber, ¿podrías hacer un acento argentino en algún rol en un programa? Imagínate que sos un periodista argentino en un programa de televisión.
Ya lo hice.
Lo hiciste, claro.
Sí, lo hice en Por ella soy Eva. Bueno, Los tacones de Eva, la versión colombiana,
sí.
En la mexicana se llamó Por ella soy Eva. Y cuando este tipo trata de enamorar a, no me acuerdo el nombre de Lucero, el nombre del personaje de Lucero, pero cuando trata de enamorarla, se inventa que es un argentino, recanchero, recanchero. Le dice, Lucero, pero vení, confía en el amor que tengo por vos. Y me salía mucho mejor antes. Pero todo el mundo me dice que mi argentino es porteño.
So anyway, that's cool stuff. And this is for my Spanish show. I do a Spanish show every Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific on the Estrella Network. And very, very exciting. Check local listings. Not currently available online, but maybe available online someday soon. Okay? Very, very, very clever stuff happening there. All right, let me see what else we have. Oh, I have fallen embarrassingly behind on Super Chats. Mitesh Desai says, if Biden wins, what should he bring as a gift when visiting Trump, or does the gift exchange go the other way around? You know, I don't know about you guys, but I think that there is not going to be the standard Trump congratulating Biden, Trump welcoming Biden to the White House. I am not expecting any of that stuff to happen. Okay. Taylor Clark says, please put toward a MacBook. Oh, I'm a PC guy. I don't do any Mac stuff. Kevin says, bruh. Okay. Wendy says, sorry you have to put up with such disturbed haters. Sadiq says, David, these trollers are on drugs. Trinidad Marin Sepulveda says, thanks, David, for the coverage. Honesty is needed right now. Saludos desde Chile. Jane says, oh my God, what an awful voicemail. Sorry, David. JB says, here in England, I'll be staying up all night watching your stream Tuesday. Thanks for doing what you do, David. Yeah, I want to remind people, there's a lot of what am I going to call it? There's a lot of sort of posturing now as if it would be unusual not to have final official results on Tuesday. We never have final official results any election. This is what a lot of people are not understanding. When we see North Carolina, 15% reporting, 20% reporting, 30, 40, 50. At some point, when you get, for example, 70% reporting and one candidate has a 5-point lead, media outlets will say, okay, based on this, the candidate who's losing needs 70% of the remaining 30% of votes. Not going to happen. We're calling it in North Carolina. Those are not final votes. Those are not final official certifications. It takes anywhere from a few days to weeks for states to certify the election results. We always wait for the mail-in ballots. The results are never final on election night, but we usually have no global pandemic, and so we can be more confident about knowing how much vote is out there. So the media needs to restate this. We never have final official results on election day. And I'll go even further. In Hawaii, when Hawaii polls close, it's already Wednesday on the East Coast. So unless I misunderstand the forward motion of time, unless you want to become some kind of make some kind of metaphysical argument, we never have all the results on election day. That is not new. The difference here is we're expecting more mail-in ballots that, for a variety of different reasons, will come in after Election Day, such that in a state that is close, the results could flip after midnight. But that is not in practice any different. It's not in principle any different than what often happens. So I just think it's really important to remember that, because y'all are going to get bamboozled otherwise, okay? Okay, the sun is setting in Hickory, North Carolina. We are waiting for Joe Biden still, now running a half hour late. Donald Trump scheduled for 7 minutes now, probably running 90 minutes late for all we know, but we are keeping an eye on all of these different events. Okay, Bean says, David, did you know every time Republicans have won an election, they took Ohio? That's shocking. I'm sorry, not Ohio, Idaho. That's crazy to imagine. Idaho, imagine that. Stoma says, are you going to break out the champagne on election night should Biden win? I hate champagne, so I will not be having champagne, but I may have a quality white ale or a Belgian, maybe even a little Fernet. I am Argentinian after all. The Fernet could come up at any time. Yeah, very good. DJ AA says, how much of a game changer would it be if Biden won Texas? It would be historic. Yeah, I'm just not assuming it. Sadiq says, come to Canada, David. I just read, this is totally serious now. I just read that next year, to help with the economic recovery, Justin Trudeau wants to bring an additional 400,000 permanent residents to Canada. If Trump wins, I would not rule out doing the show from Montreal or Quebec City for 6 months. I've never been to Quebec City. It looks lovely. Montreal, I've been to probably 20 times. I love it. I would not rule it out. I really wouldn't. And I would have to explore the logistics of that. But that's what I read. Bad news from Quebec City last night. I don't know what that means. What happened in Quebec City? Okay, we don't know. Very good. Joe says, Moore and others describe shy Trumpists, but is there not a chance of of shy Bidenists, a spouse who isn't comfortable sharing in a family of Trump supporters? It's all possible, and I simply don't think we can make any guesses about it. That's where I am with it. Everybody running late today. Very weird. Okay, let me get caught up on thank yous because I know people are saying, David, I subscribed and you haven't mentioned me. Let's do it. Okay, these are joinpacman.com subscribers. Beautiful people. Lisa Knipe is new member number 29. Ashley Teets is new member number 30. John Manella, number 31. Sean Rankin, 32. Aiden Floden, 33. Henry Dorr is number 34. Bjark Kaiser Halling is number 35. Dan Ebeling is 36. Julian Guerreri is new member number 37. Debbie Koch is new member number 38. Gretchen Seeger is 39. Fleming Sorensen is number 40. Jacqueline Beckman, 41. Austin Knudsen, 42. And Jacob Calvin is number 43. And then let me now add Twitch. We got 7 more, which puts us at 50. Nice. Beautiful. We are halfway there, and we may well get some phone lines opened at this point. Beautiful row of Sanny cans, as you can see here. Absolutely can't think of a place I would more rather be than at an outdoor rally with 10 Sanny cans crowded together with right-wing lunatics during a global pandemic awaiting for Trump to arrive, soon to get hypothermia. Extremely exciting evening, as you all can imagine. Love and Music says, aren't most of the models going by party voter affiliation? I know a lot of Republicans are staying Republican, but voting Biden gives me hope for a blowout. Hypothetical, certainly, would be great. We don't know. Super Guy says, the good news is Biden has many paths to win. Absolutely. Absolutely. Alyssa says, thank you for providing me and my family a stream to watch while powering through this election. Much appreciated. Kayleon says, David, do you own a firearm? I don't talk about that. Not something I talk about. Kimitha says, is there any way a candidate can popular vote a state but not get the electoral college? Has this ever happened? Well, you could presumably have faithless electors, I guess is the question you're asking. I think that there have been individual faithless electors. I don't believe a state has ever gone the other direction altogether. I don't think. Sadiq says, David, I'm a DJ. I will make a mix for you tonight. Yes, absolutely. We need that. Hugh says, listen to Paragon de facto. Okay. Lucas says, do you think violence could break out in non-battleground states? Yeah, I do think so. You know, today in the original hometown of the David Pakman Show, Northampton, Massachusetts, there was a sort of Trump flag waving event with people screaming and getting aggressive, which required mutual aid to come police departments from other cities and towns. It's bad. It's bad. So and this is Massachusetts we're talking about. All right, let's see what messages I'm getting from our beautiful Twitch audience. Peppa Z says, I have subscriptions on Twitch and YouTube. Keep it up, David. Thank you. Other Twitch messages. GeoVenture says, David, love your show, your perspective and commentary of a lot of political happenings, most of which I would not have been informed about, has me really tuning into the political atmosphere now more than ever. Thank you for your content. Thank you. Other Twitch messages. Love the commentary. Take my Prime sub, says Starbarf. Oceanova says, I hope you answer from Minnesota today from the standpoint of live calls. Excellent. Let's see. Still no Biden and still no Trump. Man, what is going on? I don't know. Do you think Trump will faint at one of his rallies with the amount of rallies he's doing in one day? I'm guessing he's getting steroids. That's my guess. I think he'll be all right. Mike says it's a very real prospect that the USA will have Trump as president for the next, Trump as president for the next 20 years. 20, I don't know, but I do worry about the sequelae if we don't remove Trump in 2 days. I do worry. By the way, I'm just curious. when someone will type in chat something related to what was being discussed on stream 10 or 15 minutes ago, is it because people are watching on a delay? Is that like somebody who started 10 minutes late and they're watching on a delay? I'm trying to understand, like, sometimes I'll see chats that are like, for example, about the Quebec thing from 10, 15 minutes ago. Are you watching on some kind of a delay, or what is happening? But couldn't be a 15-minute lag, could it? That delay. Mobile users have a delay, 15 minutes? That doesn't make any sense. All right, well, I don't know. All right, D. Campbell in Spanish says, me encantaría ver una entrevista en español con la alcaldesa de Tucson, Regina Romero. Strong Latin woman represent. Oh, okay, the Tucson mayor. I will check that out. That does seem interesting. Dark Chip says, could the carrot cake theoretically stay in the White House? Yes. Yusuf says, hey, David, have you heard of Christine Mayone, pronounced Mayoni? She's a progressive YouTuber from Canada and has talked about the U.S. a lot. I have not, but it sounds interesting. Raniel says, hey, David, do you think Tucker Carlson has a chance as the Republican nominee for 2024? I would never overestimate the intelligence of the Republican electorate, so it would be naive for me to say Tucker has no chance. Don Jr. has a chance. Tucker Carlson has a chance. I learned from 2016, if your instinct is to say the Republican electorate could never be that stupid, you're probably starting off with the wrong premises, okay? So no, I think that Tucker has a very real chance. Big thank you to Miranda Grievous, who is new member number 51 today, and Kara Salazar is new member number 52. Also want to say thanks to the latest 5 Twitch subscribers, which gets us to 57 today. If you're just joining us, we are standing by for Donald Trump in Hickory, North Carolina. Also standing by for Joseph R. Biden Jr. in a Battle for the Soul of the Nation event in Philly. And then Trump scheduled. Everybody's late. All of these events should have started already. Joe Biden is running at least 15 minutes behind. Donald Trump could be running 90 minutes behind. We have no idea what's going on.
Please welcome Keisha Davis, owner of Cakes by Denise.
Okay, so things are starting to get going for Biden, and then we are also waiting for Donald Trump. This is the second to last full day of campaigning. Donald Trump doing 5 events today, I believe. The latest one scheduled to be, as you can see here. Let's refresh to see if they've updated the schedule. Trump's still scheduled to have an 11 p.m. rally. We are now, let me look at this here. Okay, so Trump's scheduled right now to be delivering remarks in Hickory. It's going to be very late. Trump then going to Rome, Georgia for an event at 8:20, and then another event in Florida at 11. It's all a mess. I mean, there's no way any of these events happen even remotely on time. So we'll keep an eye on all of this stuff. And Joe Biden expected very soon, very, very soon. Okay. What other questions do we have here? Matty Ice says a Trump concession would be congruent with a resignation. He cannot risk finishing his term without a pardon. Plausible. Could you imagine? Let's just wait. You know, I understand the scenarios on the pardon. I do understand it. But I think at this late stage of the election, let's first deal with the results from Tuesday before we start hypothesizing about that. Brandon says, have I seen Alan Lichtman's prediction? Yeah, he says Trump's going to lose. And he's typically accurate. Taco Memes has been canvassing in Arizona against Trump. Let's win it. Would love to win Arizona. Sabrina says, David, many viewers might be shifting to Kyle's coverage with Joe Rogan on Tuesday. Consider joining in on Joe Rogan virtually. Sabrina, with peace and love, there are literally tens of millions of people who will be watching coverage, and it doesn't work that way. Like, how would I be? Hey, Joe, I want to be on your stream. Not to mention, by the way, these streams are an important part of our revenue. If I were even able to bully my way into Joe Rogan's stream, we make no money. I mean, it's not, this is like people said, David, you know, Hassan is going to be streaming on Tuesday, and he's going to take all your Twitch audience. So there's more than enough people. We live in a planet of, 8 billion. There's 330 million people in this country. It's, I'm going to do my thing, and we're going to be just fine. And by the way, increasingly, like, my audience and Kyle's audience are two totally different audiences. And so I just don't think that is, I think we're going to do fine. Paul says, appreciate your analysis of the current situation, David. Becca says, my dad has been involved in Texas politics for over 30 years, and he thinks Texas will turn blue, or he's extremely hopeful. What do you think? I am not guessing. It could be anything. Anything could happen. We are still waiting for Joe Biden. John says, if Trump loses and moves to another country, what are the chances he gives away or sells state secrets? I think those are wacky scenarios. Wacky scenarios. Queen says, grateful for your perspective. Sorry if you've already covered this, but I'm nervous. If elected, how would Biden stop threats and violent protests? It's going to be up to Trump to stop them, because if Biden gets elected, the violent protests are going to be during the transition period, and Trump will be the president during that time. Syed says, feeling nervous. I know the polls show Biden is winning, but I can't help but be reminded of 2016. Should I ignore the polls? All you can do is vote. Check out my interview with philosophy professor William Irvine from a few days ago. You can control your vote. You can control whether you get out the vote and phone bank and whatever. You can't control the polls. You ultimately can't control the outcome. So understand that. And I think it will make everybody a little bit more relaxed. What other messages are coming in here? I want to say thanks to Sarah Tyler. Sarah Tyler is new member number 58 today at joinpacman.com. And with the addition of another 3 Twitch subs, that puts us at 61. Now, let me do the percentage math. We're looking for 100 website members and Twitch subs. We're at 61. Okay. 6 divided by 10 is 6. 4, carry the 0, 4, 61. 61 over 100. That's 61%. We're 61% of the way there to our goal of 100 members and Twitch subs. No calculator needed, my friends. I did it. AVMU says, you think California goes to Biden? Yes. Yes, I think California goes to Biden. Nemos says, come to Canada, David. Stay forever. Nathan Shocker. Oops, I lost that one. Where's Nathan? Nathan Shocker says, do you think the post-election violence is going to be like the protests we saw in June and throughout the summer? No, I worry it's going to be people with guns and Trump flags. I think it's going to be much worse, actually. Okay, let's listen to Joe Biden.
You all out in the rainstorm.
Oh, the audio. Oh, my God, the audio.
I want to thank you all. Keisha, thank you so much.
Can somebody find me a different stream that maybe has okay audio?
You and your aunt have done for this city over the years.
This is impossible, guys.
Denise is a Philadelphia institution. And, when young people you've monitored,
let me find one.
You've mentored, and all the folks have come along, the way you invest in the community is inspiring. And, folks, this is the city where it all started. The birthplace of American democracy. Sounds corny, but it's real.
Let me test this other one. I'm just looking at another stream. I don't know if it's on all of the streams. Let me see here.
It all started.
It seems to be in literally every stream.
I never believed it would be this much in jeopardy.
Oh, my
We
God.
launched our campaign over on the Oval back in May 9th, 2019.
Oh, my God.
But,
what is happening,
what I said
guys?
then, we've been through a lot since then. What I said then is even more true today.
Let me try this other one. Hold on. I'm just looking for other. I'm not going to be able to do this, guys, if this is the audio. Let me listen to the official stream.
What we need is a president.
There we go. I think we got one. I think we got a live one here, my friends. Let's take a listen.
Is accomplish these things. In order to get them done, we have to defeat Donald Trump.
Whoa. Some enthusiasm.
To have with me in that fight so many wonderful friends who are here tonight, including my good friend.
So the problem here is the persistent audio-video sync. These have been a disaster from a technical standpoint, but at least we don't have the feedback.
Senator from Scranton, a guy named Bobby Casey. He's a great friend. And I want to thank Congresswoman Scanlon. Let's send her back to the House on Tuesday. And to Vice Chair Street, the Pennsylvania Dems, City Council President Clark. And look, we've had so many of you for the energy you've poured into this election. And look, I want to also recognize one of the rising stars in our party who's been breaking his neck for me for a long time and all day today, Malcolm Kenyatta. Kenyatta, you've been so honored to have your support throughout this campaign. And I also want to thank Philly Freeway for being here and performing. I know he's heartbroken. He's heartbroken tonight.
This is the sign language interpreter that we like the best, right? I think this is the best guy they've got. This is my favorite.
And it means the world to me that he chose to be here because he thinks this election is that important. But I tell you what, you got to find purpose, because when you lose a child, you know, voting is the only way we can make the world better for our children, folks. And Doc Rivers, Jill and I grew up 76ers fan. Welcome to Philly, Doc. And let's bring it home on the court and in this campaign. I've been quoting Doc Rivers, a quote he made after the shooting of Jacob Blake on the campaign trail. He asked us to imagine what it takes for a black person to love his America as much as he does, and they do, and how it is the deep love for this country that so far for too long has never fully been recognized by the rest of the country. But I think the action, you know, there's two ways. I was with Barack yesterday, Florida. There's two ways people get inspired. They get inspired by inspiring leaders who do great things like Barack, and they get inspired by really bad leaders. I'm not being facetious. When they see the bad side. We need American leadership that seeks to de-escalate tensions, to open the lines of communications, and to bring us together, to heal, to hope. As president, that's precisely what I will try to do. Philadelphia, 2 more days. 2 more days. In 2 days, we can put an end to a presidency that has divided this nation. In 2 days, we can put an end to a presidency that has failed to protect this nation. In 2 days, we can put an end to a presidency that has fanned the flames of hate all across this nation. Millions of Americans have already voted, over 91 million. And millions more are going to vote in the days ahead. But there are still a lot of Pennsylvanians who haven't voted yet. We need every single one of you to get out and to vote on Tuesday. My message to you is simple. Pennsylvania is critical to this election. Last time Donald Trump won Pennsylvania, he won by 44 votes, 44,000 votes. Every single one of those votes matter. The power to change this country, not figuratively, is literally in the hands of Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. Look, I don't care how hard Donald Trump tries. There's nothing that's going to stop the people of this nation from voting and voting overwhelmingly. And when America votes, America will be heard. And when America's heard, I believe the message is going to be clear. It's time for Donald Trump to pack his bags and go home. We're done with the chaos, with the tweets, with the anger, the hate, the failure, the irresponsibility. We've got a lot of work to do. And if I'm elected your president, we're going to do it. We're going to act. We're going to act to get COVID under control. On day one of my presidency, I'll put in action a plan I've been talking about for months. Masking, social distancing, testing, tracing. A plan for the full and fair and free distribution of therapeutics and vaccine when we get one. Imagine where we'd be if this president just wore a mask instead of mocked it from the beginning.
Right.
I can tell you this, and every major health expert agrees with me, I can tell you this, we wouldn't have 9 million confirmed cases of COVID in this nation. We wouldn't have over 230,000 dead, almost 9,000 here in Pennsylvania. We wouldn't be seeing those new record numbers of cases we're seeing every day now, nearly 100,000 cases nationwide on Friday alone. More than 2,600 of them here in Pennsylvania. It was an all-time high. Wouldn't be facing another 200,000 deaths in the next few months, as the doctors predict, if we don't change course. Folks, we make up 4% of the world's population. But guess what? We make up over 20% of the deaths. This president knew back in January how deadly this virus was. You may have heard me say the intelligence community briefed him on it. He said, no, I never read the briefing. Well, that didn't surprise me, that he doesn't read. But he was lying. He knew how bad it was. He hid it from the American people. He went on record. He went on record with a leading journalist. He said he knew. He knew how dangerous it was. But he lied to the American people. He knew it wasn't going to disappear. But he kept telling us a miracle's coming. It'll be gone by Easter. It goes on and on and on. He's repeatedly had the gall to suggest, just the other day, that American doctors, the people who have been on the front lines of this crisis for 9 months, along with nurses and so many others, he suggested these doctors are falsely inflating the deaths due to COVID because they want to make money.
Can you imagine?
Think about that. No, I really mean think about it. The people of this nation have suffered and sacrificed for 9 months. None more so than our doctors and our frontline healthcare workers. This president questioning their character, their integrity, their commitment to their fellow Americans. It's more than offensive. It's a disgrace. He's a disgrace to say it. Especially coming from a president who's waved
That's the MAGA
flag
crowd
of surrender on the virus. His chief of staff last week said, we're going to do nothing about the virus. It's here. Our frontline healthcare workers have given all their best to this virus. Everything to beat it. Many of them have died, but we have a president who's given up. I'll never give up, nor will America give up. We'll never wave the flag of surrender. We're going to beat this virus. We're going to get it under control. But the truth is, this is not hyperbole, the truth is, to beat the virus, we first got to beat Donald Trump. He's the virus. Think about it. This guy, Trump, keeps telling us what a great job and all the jobs he's created as president, what a great president he is. Well, did you know that Obama and I created more jobs in the last 3 years of our administration than the president did in his first year, 3 years of his, before the pandemic? And how about this? Did you know Donald Trump is going to be the first president in 90 years who's going to finish his 4 years in office with fewer jobs under his leadership than when he started the presidency? First one in 90 years. That's a lot of presidents. That's a lot of crises. But only Trump is going to have fewer jobs at the end of his presidency than when he started. You see, I understand something Donald Trump doesn't. Wall Street did not build this country. You did. The working people of America built this country. The middle class built it. And unions built the middle class. Folks, I believe, from the bottom of my heart, if you know anything about me, I believe we should be rewarding work not wealth in this country. Under my plan, this is God's truth, if you make less than $400,000 a year, you're not going to pay a penny more in taxes, not one penny, I promise you. But the wealthiest and the biggest corporations, 91 of the Fortune 500 who pay zero tax, federal income tax, they're going to start to pay their fair share. Because, folks, why should a firefighter, an educator, a nurse, why should they pay a higher tax rate than the super wealthy, which you do, by the way? Why should you pay more in taxes than Donald Trump? Remember, the only tax return we got, he paid $750 in federal income tax. How about you? And you know what he said? When it was pointed out last year, he said, well, that's because I'm smart. I know how to game the system. Just what we want as a president, knows how to game the system and lay it all on you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to end this crisis. It's time that we take that money that he should be paying and help you protect your health care, help you put your kid in school, help you pay your taxes. Look, we will act to protect your health care. Trump and our Republican friends just jammed through a Supreme Court nominee. You know why? They've been trying since the day we passed the act. They've been trying to destroy the Affordable Care Act. If they get their way, an estimated 1 million Pennsylvanians will lose their health insurance. Folks, no, listen, he's going into court, whether he wins or loses, he's going into court 7 days after Election Day to wipe out the Affordable Care Act.
He's trying.
Already, because of his incompetence, 10 million people have lost their employer-based insurance because they've gone out of business. 10 million. In addition to that, he wants to take away the other 20 million people who got covered by Obamacare. 100 million Americans will lose their protections for pre-existing conditions, including 5 million of you here in Pennsylvania. Donald Trump thinks health care is a privilege. I think health care is a right. Folks, I'll not only restore Obamacare, I'll build on it so you can keep your private insurance if you choose to, or choose a Medicare-like option. We'll increase subsidies to lower your premiums, deductibles, out-of-pocket spending, reduce prescription drug prices by 60%. You say, Joe, how are you going to do that? By making sure he and the multimillionaires start paying their taxes so you don't have to spend as much. And by the way, this has been confirmed by all places. Wall Street, Moody's on Wall Street said Biden's plan will create 18.6 million jobs, good-paying jobs. Will increase the GDP by $1 trillion more. We're going to make sure we keep protections for the people with pre-existing conditions. Meanwhile, some has gone unnoticed with all his lies and all the misrepresentation. He has announced that, in fact, if he gets elected, he's going to change the way we fund Social Security. The actuary.
Anybody hear like a typing noise in the background?
Full-time at the Social Security Administration says if Donald Trump's plan, were he to be reelected, gets put in place, it will bankrupt Social Security by 2023. This is a guy with a lot of heart, isn't he? This is a guy. Tell that to your parents and grandparents. Look, folks, you have my word. I'll protect Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, and make sure your health care is covered. But folks, look, he's done a lot of really stupid, mean things. But I think there's nothing worse that he's said or done than the way he's spoken about those of you who served in uniform. Guess what, man? He talks about you being losers and suckers. My son, Beau Biden, who was the Attorney General of the state of Delaware, gave up that job to volunteer to go to Iraq for a year, won the Bronze Star, the Conspicuous Service Medal in Iraq. He was not a loser. He was not a sucker. He was a patriot. Just like your sons, your daughters, your parents, your grandparents have served. This president portrays himself as a tough guy, macho man. Give me a break. But this is a president who won't even stand up to Vladimir Putin for putting bounties on the head of American soldiers serving in Afghanistan. He's too scared to challenge him. He's Putin's puppy. That's who he is. Donald Trump's not strong. This makes me angry. Donald Trump's not strong. He's weak. He commands virtually no respect on the international stage. Think about this. When's the last time you ever heard of a president showing up to the UN and being laughed at by the entire international community? A president who showed up. I'm not
quite a
making
day.
this up. A president who showed up at our NATO meeting where our NATO allies, the heads of state of our NATO nations, were making fun of him. This is a president who not only doesn't understand sacrifice, he doesn't understand courage, the physical courage it takes to serve in uniform. Maybe that's why the 6 generals, most 4-stars and admirals who worked in the administration have since left and said he's unfit to be the commander-in-chief. That's never happened before. And that's why the former Joint Special Operations Commander, General Stanley McChrystal, former commander of Special Operations in the SEALs, who oversaw bin Laden's raid, Admiral Bill McCraven, along with 22 other 4-stars, endorsed me, saying they support me and they trust me as their commander-in-chief. Look, you have my word, I will support our military. They're our backbone, they're our sinew, they're our life. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to support them. And look, and we have to vote. We have to vote to meet this climate crisis. You know, Donald Trump, when he hears climate, he thinks hoax. I see it being about jobs, healthcare, and safety. The impacts of climate change too often fall disproportionately on communities of color. We're going to make sure communities that benefit by the hundreds of billions of dollars in federal investment in infrastructure and climate change. We're going to create local jobs, rebuild our roads, fill our sidewalks, install broadband, create spaces to live in, work in, and play in safely. He doesn't get it. The West is burning. More of our forests have been lost in the combined territory of Connecticut and Rhode Island combined. Superstorms in the Midwest, wiping out whole communities, flooding.
Biden's pretty solid today, I must say.
You know what's happening? We have a circumstance where in the South, we find ourselves with more hurricanes, more vicious hurricanes. When the president was told that's because the waters of the Atlantic are opening up or warming up, you know what he said? Well, maybe we could stop it by dropping some atomic bombs on them. Oh, by the way, this is the same guy. You'll appreciate this being from Philly. The same guy who said the problem we had in the Revolutionary War is we didn't have enough airports. Stable genius. Stable genius. Look, we'll act to deliver on racial justice as well. Protesting is not burning or looting or violating and can't be tolerated, and it won't. But these protests are a cry for justice. The names of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Jacob Blake, Walter Wallace Jr., they're not going to be forgotten soon. Not by me, not by you, not by the American people. And they'll inspire a new wave of justice in America. Folks, we can do this. There's nothing beyond our capacity. So honk if you want America to lead again. Honk if you want to trust Americans to begin to trust each other again. And honk if you want America to be united again. Folks, we can't afford 4 more years of Donald Trump. I believe this country has to come together. When I announced, not far from here, my candidacy, I said I was doing it for 3 reasons. One, to restore the soul, decency in the White House, the soul of America. I said I was running to rebuild the backbone of America, hard-working, middle-class folks, and bring everybody along this time. And I said I was running to unite America. People said, Joe, you used to be able to do that, but it can't be done anymore. Well, if it can't be done anymore, we're in trouble. I'm running as a proud Democrat, but I'll govern as an American president. I'll work as hard for those who don't support me as those who do. That's the job of a president. A duty to care for everyone. No red states, no blue states, the United States. So please vote. If you have an absentee ballot, get it to a drop box as soon as you can. Or if you can, vote on Election Day. Make a plan. Go to iwillvote.com/PA. Folks, I'll never forget what John Kennedy said. My colleagues in the Senate used to kid me because I remind them of it. Why he's going to the moon. He said, because this is America. And in America, we refuse to postpone opportunities. Well, I refuse to postpone the incredible opportunities available in America. There's nothing beyond our capacity. There's no limit to America's future. The only thing that can tear America apart is America itself. And that's exactly what Donald Trump has been trying to do from the beginning. Dividing us in America. Pitting us, Americans, against one another based on race, religion, gender, ethnicity, national origin. Wrong. That's not who we are. Look, everybody knows who Donald Trump is. Let's show them who we are. We choose hope over fear. We choose unity over division. We choose science over fiction. And yes, we choose truth over lies. So folks, it's time to stand up, take back our democracy. We can do this. We're better than this. We're so much better. The United States of America is who we are. May God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
An extremely fired up Joseph R. Biden Jr. in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Wow, what an event. And what?
Folks, one more thing.
Uh-oh.
Every time I'd walk out of my grandpa's house up in Scranton, he'd yell, Joey, keep the faith. And my grandmother, if she's alive, she knows, she'd say, Joey, no, spread it. Go spread the faith. We can do this.
Joe Biden on fire tonight, giving arguably one of his most passionate and inspired speeches so far. We next go to Hickory, North Carolina, where I expect a very different feeling speech from Donald Trump. There probably will be less policy, and there probably will be more claims like Joe Biden will end electricity and indoor plumbing. So it will be a little bit different. We are expecting Donald Trump now over an hour late in Hickory, North Carolina. It's going to be a very, very different situation. Wow. Let's see here. I know that I've fallen very much behind on a lot of different things here, but I have so many people to thank. I want to say thanks to Robert Rosen, who's new member number 62. Roxanne Cato is new member number 63. And Stuart Evely is new member number 64. That's at joinpacman.com. We are also counting Twitch subs today. And we were most recently, so that's an additional 7 from the standpoint of Twitch, which puts us at 71 We may do it. And as many of you know, if you've been here for a bit, the plan is to really strongly open up the Discord phone lines if we get to 100 as Donald Trump is arriving. My thought is, if you've seen one Trump rally, you've really seen them all. So let's just get to the 100. We'll do about 15 minutes of the Trump rally, and then I'll hear from you guys. If you're interested, I'm interested. Everybody's ready to go. Everything is live. People seem confused. Audio is on. Video is on. I very often wonder. People come through. They say, David, we can't hear you. Like, well, unmute your device. David, we can't see you. What? Here I am. Is this live? Yeah, it's live. We're live right now. This is a live stream. That's exactly what we're doing right now. I'm just trying to keep up, my friends. I'm just trying to keep up. Okay. Other subscription. I just missed like 10 subscriptions on my website. Okay. Michael Lederer is new member number 72. Ryan Gunter is number 73. Thomas Turner, 74. Laurent Massey, 75. Clayton Hart is 76. David Burke is 77. And Spencer Erickson is new member number 78 at joinpacman.com. Unbelievable. What a day. What an evening. What an evening. It's crazy what is going on right now. Okay, let me get back to super chats because I did miss a bunch of them. Let's just look at a few. Katya says, even if Biden wins, there's a lot for Americans to change. The trouble with democracy is that everyone is responsible for the country they want to live in. Don't wait for anyone to save you. Engage. Your country needs you. Yes. Yes. Well said. Sadiq says, may Allah bless Biden and Harris. David, I think you were Jewish and maybe know the Testament. Maybe you know the truth through Moses. No, I don't believe any of that stuff. I am culturally Jewish. I am culinarily Jewish. I am ethnically Jewish. But I am not a religious person. Sinsu says, of course, Trump will say that doctors are inflating COVID death numbers for money. That's exactly what he would do if he were able. Yeah, this is a good point. And in fact, I made this comment last week, which was Trump thinks it's plausible that doctors would lie about COVID to get money because he imagines everyone else is as motivated by personal gain with a complete and total disregard for other people. But that's not the case. Not everybody is as amoral and immoral as Donald Trump. But that's why Donald Trump's mind goes there right away. People asking about the temperature. Yeah, people tend to be left behind at Trump rallies, especially in the cold. And then people get hypothermia. No risk of that. It is 59 degrees right now in Hickory, North Carolina. And there are, guys with cutoff shirts, which doesn't tell you much. It could be 20 and there would be guys with cutoff shirts at a Trump rally. But it is not a cold evening there in North Carolina. Okay. Other super chats coming in. Wait, I'm going the wrong way. Christine says, from Canada, vote Biden. Best of luck, neighbors. Nurse asking if Biden mentioned a stimulus package. He did not. Swagador says, please vote. Your opinion matters. Love Canada. Nicholas says, someone asked John Iadarola on his stream earlier if you would do an interview with him. Is that something you would do? He said he would. I would do it on principle. I'd be more likely to have John on during a live stream because on my podcast, TV show, radio show, the audience tends not to care when I interview other people who do what I do, which is why I tend not to do it. But I think on a stream, that would be an interesting thing to do. I do want to say thanks to Joseph Bullins, who is new member number 79 today, and Nadia Lakayeva is new member number 80 at joinpacman.com. We also have an additional 9, if you can believe it, Twitch subs, which puts us at 89. Remember, phones open at 100. We actually may do it today. And of course, please, by the way, folks, please vote with your dollars and grab a membership at joinpacman.com. It is the #1 funding source for the program. We have this coupon code 2020 now, as many of you know. Unfortunately, I hate that this is the reality, but unfortunately, many of our progressive brethren have not diversified revenue streams enough. And what happens is when there's an apocalypse that can happen, these have happened on YouTube and Facebook. They've never happened on Twitch yet, but they've happened on YouTube and Facebook. You lose 90, 95, even 98% of your revenue. The reason we do the membership thing is I want to be insulated from that. And that's why it's so important that people support us directly. So then when YouTube drops the hammer, when Facebook drops the hammer, we've had situations on Facebook where for 10 days, we make zero. I'm not saying like, oh, we lose 80%. We make zero on Facebook. We do all of our videos, upload, we make zero. We have no contact. It's crazy what's going on at Facebook. Anyway, the whole point is you go to joinpacman.com, you sign up. I thank you. People love it. People go crazy. They destroy their microphones. They burn down their houses. And then the phone lines open. And people just love it. People go crazy. Okay. Other super chats coming in. Woody says, plan on catching any of the Kalinsky-Rogan election night show? No. I'm going to be doing a stream. Il Scooch says, keep in mind that everything coming up in the Trump speech is projection. This is what he would do. Exactly. The page number 1 says, I can't wait for Mango Mussolini to lose. Super Guy says, can Biden win the election by Wednesday? Sure. Yeah, it's a completely plausible scenario. Kevin says, incredible how many of the cult members don't wear the mask. It's literally drinking the Kool-Aid. You can't make this up. You really can't. You really can't. Linda says, are there any COVID spike studies happening? Yes. Okay. So a study that was just released, which I will be discussing on the show tomorrow, found that the 18 Trump events were responsible for 30,000 cases and 700 deaths. Now that doesn't mean it's people going to the events that are dying. As a result of the rallies, some people who go die, but then it's also people who later get it in their community when these Trumpists then go back and spread the virus in their local communities. 700 dead minimum from Trump rallies so far. Stunning. Okay. Stanford University study. That's exactly right. Okay. Another helicopter coming in. Let's look at some Twitch messages that are coming in. Hardlined said with a Twitch Prime sub, Biden killed it tonight. Why did he bring his A game so late? Fair question. Terry Mama Bear says, why does the audience have red hats on? Because this is a MAGA rally and they have Trump hats on. That's why. What else? Daniel says, hey, David, 16 months in and still a big fan. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I think Daniel 84 is our first ever 16-month Twitch sub, which is incredible. Other Twitch messages. I think I'm caught up as far as Twitch is concerned. Andreas says Hitler didn't have Twitter. I'm not saying Trump will kill millions of people, but how bad do you see this going at worst? I do see a very realistic chance that in the interim period after the election, there is significant violence in the streets. I've been saying it for months. My opinion has not changed. Another helicopter has arrived. Trump usually in helicopter number 4. Brooks says, my brother and sister-in-law are undecided. Crazy, I know. What do you think is the most convincing thing to tell them to get them to vote Biden? Listen, if you're undecided 48 hours before the election, 36 hours before election day starts, I am at a loss. I think it bodes very poorly for our country, but I don't know what to tell them at this point. Rob says, best case scenario with Biden win and Dems taking the Senate. What do you think the country will look like in 2 to 3 years? It depends on, I don't want to use a crass term, but I'm going to quote that recent caller, that voicemail we listened to earlier. If Joe Biden wins and Democrats take the Senate and everybody has some balls, testicular fortitude, you understand, I think a lot can get done. If Democrats allow themselves to be obstructed, despite having the House, Senate, and White House, then, the future of the country is very much in question. I Dead Pirate says, anyone else remember Trump's big projection from 2016? Take a look at the snake poem he read during the campaign. Waller is me says, I'm concerned about the sheer amount of work ahead to grow back trust in institutions like the FBI, journalism, science, education. That's if Biden wins. That's why I say take it a day at a time. Today and tomorrow, that's the end of the campaign. Tuesday, vote. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, make sure every vote is counted. Prevent violence in the streets, etc. Let's take it a step at a time. Oh, some folks saying I should say gonads instead of balls. All right, I could do that. I want to say thank you to Alexander Sherleniak, who is new member number 90. Andreas Feldhaus is new member number 91. Marina Strand is new member number 92. Syed Mumad is new member number 93. And Sadiq Salah is new member number 94. Folks, we are taking phone calls at 100. You see what's going on here, right? You see what's happening. Extremely, extremely exciting stuff going on. There is maskless Mark Meadows. You can pick him out from a mile away. Vile, disgusting clown of a man. Expecting Donald Trump. If we get to 100, we'll do like 15, 20-ish minutes of this. And then I'll do some phone calls. Then I got to make dinner and prepare for tomorrow and, you know, a lot of other different things. But we will do some phone calls if we get to 100. Yeah, guys, we moderators, we are going to have to start dropping some ban hammers. This applies both on Twitch and Facebook. I'm sorry, Twitch and YouTube. That ban hammers are going to have to be dropped. I apologize, but a lot of ugly shit is happening in the chat. Okay, a few other super chats. Skunk Games, where'd that go? Says Trump rally encircled in a shield of garbage trucks. How apropos. Wendy says, in what parts of America do you expect violence to break out in post-election? I think it'll be primarily cities, regardless of political orientation. Here is another helicopter showing up. Maybe the one on which Donald Trump is riding. Sadiq says, David, I just signed up. Only $6 a month. Love you from Canada. No, Sadiq, $6 a month is beautiful. $6 a month is fantastic. I love that you're at $6 a month. Yanette or Lynette says, can I get a shout out? First time sub user. Yes, Lynette. Shout out. John Cesar says, NYPD expecting protest riots no matter who wins. Upper residential buildings uptown are boarded up and hired private security armed with ARs. I understand. Maria Cruz is new member number 95. Kat Feargall is new member number 96. And Michael Haynes is 97. Guys, I think we might do it. Who's going to be 100? Stunning turn of events. What else we got? Adam says, just joined. Not sure if anyone mentioned how Trumpers shut down the Garden State Parkway in New Jersey and Cuomo Bridge in New York. Hasn't been mentioned. Didn't know about it. But that's disgusting. Anna Marie says, make us proud. Vote them out. We need you guys back. Love from the Netherlands. Thank you, Anna Marie. We need the support. All right, let's see if that stupid country song is playing yet. No, it's Michael Jackson, huh? All right, well, pretty stupid stuff happening at this rally, not going to lie. Dr. Chakaseki, radiology department, says, David, you need to start doing ads for psychedelic mushroom coffee to get us through the next 4 years if Trump wins. Also, Balls was an energy drink. Oh, my God. That is vile. I have some friends who work in emergency rooms, and it is stunning how many people end up in emergency rooms due to energy drink consumption. Chakaseki, if that ever reaches you, if there's ever, would there be any radiology elements that reach you when someone is in the ER for an energy drink? Like, would there be something people would be checking for where you would get a scan of some kind? I'd be interested in hearing about that. Let's see what else we've got going on. I guess not much. We're really just at the last moment here, expecting Donald Trump any moment. Absolutely any moment it could be happening. And I think the plan is we're getting very close to 100. In fact, Daniel Van Hogen is new member number 98. We have all been so familiarized with these Trump events that if we get to 100, we're just going to do like 10, 15 minutes of the Trump rally. And then I'll take phone calls from you guys, because I think at this point, I'm more interested in hearing from you. Trump putting on his gloves. It's reportedly 60 degrees there. So I'm sort of a little bit surprised that he's putting on gloves. 60 is kind of warm, right? I don't know. Dan says, from a Brit, are either candidate talking about a UK-US trade deal over there, like at all? No, that's not been mentioned. That's not been mentioned. Let's see what's happening. The audio is an absolutely abortive attempt at audio engineering. But you know, they're trying it. They're trying it. Yeah, we will. Yeah. So hold on a second. Do more people need to get banned? Oh my God. It is getting really bad as we get closer and closer to election. We are just being overrun by trolling. All right, let's listen. This is just so stupid. And by the way, the audio signal is clipping. This is not me doing it. By the way, does the pilot have to sit there stupidly looking at Trump the full rally? I feel bad if he does. Yikes, that's rough. Oh, Trump's mic is off.
This is a very big crowd. Wow, look at this. Hello, North Carolina. Hello.
We're not going to make it through with this audio.
2 days from now, we are going to win this great state just like we did last time.
Let's see if we've got a different stream. This is not even live, so that's not it. I don't know what this is. We don't want to do that. Let's see what the audio... No, it's all pretty bad, guys. I'm not going to lie.
With your vote, we will continue to cut your taxes, cut regulations, support our great police, protect our Second Amendment, defend religious liberty, and ensure more products are stamped with that beautiful phrase, made in the USA. And next year will be the greatest economic year in the history of our country. Under my leadership, our economy grew at the fastest rate ever recorded, 33.1% just announced. We created a record.
Let's try a different stream and see if the audio is any better. That's really bad.
While foreign nations are in a free fall, we're creating the world's greatest economic powerhouse.
Terrible.
A recent Gallup poll just came out, found that 56% of Americans say they are better off today than they were 4 years ago under Obama and sleepy Joe Biden. And I want to tell you, it's really windy up here. Oh, thank goodness you have a president that doesn't need teleprompters, because these things are virtually useless. They are blowing all over the place.
It's funny when he criticizes prompters while using one.
We had, we started off today 2 great places. We went to Iowa. I tell you what, we had in Iowa, we had the coldest, windiest, but it was warm because the people were warm, and we're going to win Iowa very big. Very We had a couple of cold stops today. One was so cold, we talked about refugees. We said if they come in, they're going to say, I want to go back immediately. It was so cold.
This is terrible. Let's go back to, I guess, this feed.
We will collapse and our country will go into at least a free fall, but probably a depression. They want to raise your taxes.
What a disaster.
They want to take away your Second Amendment. They want to do lots of things that I don't think you can stand for. I don't think you can stand for. Fracking doesn't pertain so much to it. It does pertain in a different way to you than it would to Pennsylvania. They're taking away your fracking, but what they're really doing is your energy costs are going to go through the roof. That will be very bad for this incredible state. You want to massively increase regulations, send your jobs overseas, destroy the suburbs. Well, we're keeping the suburbs. I got rid of the regulation that would have destroyed the suburbs. They will bring it back worse than ever before. Terminate religious liberty, eliminate school choice, outlaw private health care, and shred your Second Amendment, take away your guns, and indoctrinate your children with anti-American lies. Biden has vowed to abolish U.S. oil, U.S. fracking, natural gas industry. Look at what he's talking about doing. But it's not him. He's shot, okay? It's not him. It's the radical left. It's the radical left. Energy prices will explode, and that will cripple our country. You know, we right now, energy independent, what we have going, we've never had before. Biden's energy ban will send every state from North Carolina to Michigan to Pennsylvania into a very, very severe problem, and we're not going to have it. We worked too hard. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country, and then the plague came in from China. It came in from China. They should have never allowed it. They stopped it from going into China, but it came to us and Europe and the rest of the world, and we're never going to ever forget. We will never forget. But now we're building our economy back up, and it's going in a V, but it's really a super V. As long as I'm president, we will remain the #1 producer of oil.
This is really
and
dumb.
natural gas on the planet Earth, and we will remain energy independent. Our opponent's agenda is a war on workers, a war on faith, and a war on our great police. Biden says he's running as a proud Democrat. I'm running as a proud American. Thank you. Thank you very much. By the way, I just have to say this. So we had something incredible happen 4 years ago. This is more important, and there's more energy. The crowds are bigger, everything's hotter, and it's really, but this is...
For everybody telling me the audio's fine, are you guys not hearing like the repetition? Like there's like it's like a fraction of a second delayed and it sounds echoey. Am I the only one hearing that?
In the history of our country, get out and vote. Gotta get out and vote. Sleepy Joe Biden is a diehard globalist who spent 47 years outsourcing your jobs, opening your borders, and sacrificing American blood and treasure in ridiculous, endless wars. And they're all coming back. They're all coming back. North Carolina lost nearly half of its manufacturing jobs thanks to NAFTA, one of the worst trade deals ever. And we got rid of it. Nobody thought that was possible. Promises made, promises kept.
Maybe it is my audio only.
Weird. Biden and his group shipped your jobs and your factories to China and other places in faraway lands, raking in millions of dollars for himself, it turns out. We didn't know about this, did we? His son was like a human vacuum cleaner. He went in and, where are you going today, Dad? I think I'll go to Ukraine. Okay, let me pick up a couple of bucks. $183,000 a month and $3 million up front. Where you going today, Dad? I'm going to go to Russia. Good. So the mayor of Moscow's wife gave him $3.5 million, right?
I'm going to check my own Twitch stream.
And here's the scary part. The fake news media, and there's a lot of it right back there, the fake news. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. And big tech
Oh, it is
will
better.
refuse to put it on, and then they'll terminate the New York Post if they put it up. New York Post, I have to give them a lot of credit. Number one, they endorsed me, which is nice. You know, I got endorsed today by the Pittsburgh Gazette, and it hasn't happened where they endorsed a Republican today. Nobody could believe it. They haven't done it in decades. And thank you very much, Pittsburgh Gazette. Well taken. Well, we got endorsed by a lot of great people. We got endorsed by great people, and a lot of newspapers are endorsing us because they know that Joe Biden is not up to this job. All you have to do is watch him for about 5 minutes. He is not up to this job. One thing I can tell you, President Xi, Putin, Kim Jong-un, they're...
Let me just test whether it's happening on just random, like if I play a random thing, let me see.
They want to vote.
I don't know. Anyway, we're fine. We'll stick here.
Whose son asked for $10 million a year for introductory purposes, right? $10 million a year. And he's supposed to be negotiating with China? China would just hope that I don't win because, hey, we've taken in tens of billions of dollars a year, first time ever with China. We never took in 10 cents. Saved our steel mills, saved our steel and aluminum industries. In 2016, North Carolina voted to fire this corrupt political establishment, and you elected a president who is finally putting America first. And if I don't sound like a typical Washington politician, it's because, thankfully, I'm not a politician, never will be. And if I don't always play by the rules of Washington and the Washington establishment, it's because I fight for you, and there's never been anybody that's fought harder for you. I had a very nice life before doing this. I had a very nice life.
What a guy. He didn't have to be here, guys. He's doing it for you, for us.
Thank you very much. So nice. That's such a great honor. When I hear that, it's never been said at any place. I said, did anybody ever hear that? Ronald Reagan we liked, others we liked. Nobody's ever heard it, and I appreciate it very much. My opponent is promising a long, dark winter. Did anybody see the debate? I'm sure nobody watched it, right? He didn't do too well. No, he's looking. Remember, he said, you're going to have a long, dark winter. It's so inspiring. How about somebody says, gee, we really like I don't think anybody likes Biden. Harry, let's watch Biden tonight on television. And he says, we're going to have a long, dark winter. How inspiring that is, right? So he said that, and I'm saying that we're going to deliver the greatest American comeback in history. That's what we're doing.
Can you imagine that?
We're way ahead of schedule.
Oh, yeah, we're doing so well.
This election is a choice between a Biden depression and a boom like you've never seen before. It's a choice between a Biden lockdown. He wants to lock it down. Let's lock it down. Let's lock it down. And by the way, tell your governor to open up North Carolina.
Not that again.
It's time. It's time. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They'll probably announce it on November 4th. We're going to open up now. You know, they thought our numbers wouldn't be so good. They thought by keeping these states like Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Michigan. How about her? Her husband roams free. He's the only one in the whole state. No, but they thought that by keeping him down, the numbers would, and yet
We had at 33.1, that's the highest in the history of our country, by double.
Just getting some tabs closed out here, guys.
1952, and that was half of what we did. So we're looking forward, we're going to have very shortly, within a couple of weeks, we're going to have safe vaccine that will end. And now look, we're around.
Remember, Trump promised a vaccine in October. Now he says a couple more weeks.
Anyway, we're rounding the corner. But on top of that, we have vaccines coming from Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, great companies, and they're right there. They're right there. And we're going to have them launched, and our military is going to do it. Logistically, incredible. And we're going to start with our seniors, especially our seniors where they have some problems with heart, with diabetes. And
problems with heart.
A great thing. It's going to speed up the process. We launched, and by the way, it does work. Here I am, right? Here I am. Now, I like to say that the medicine I took, Regeneron, I'd like to say that it had no impact on me because I'm a perfect physical specimen and I'm very young. But I decided to take it anyway, right? Now, it's amazing the things we've been able to do in the last 6 months. Not only that, if you look at all of the what we produce now, we've become a production incredible, what we're doing and what we're sending to the world, the ventilators, what we're sending.
All right, guys, it's literally the same speech as always. So I want to hear from some of you guys. I'm going to open up the phone lines at davidpakman.com/discord momentarily. So the instructions are, and we'll go back to a few minutes of this while we wait. You go to davidpakman.com/discord, get yourself in the waiting lobby. Make sure that you have Do Not Disturb turned on so we don't hear that wacky Discord beeping. And then change your nickname on our server to location:name. All right? Location:name. So I know who you are and where you're calling in from. All right? And then we will be able to get away. This is the same speech as always. So we'll listen a little bit more, then we'll hear from some of you.
COVID. We could call it the China plague, the China virus, but he didn't say. He said COVID. I said, gee, that's too bad. He said, he'll be fine. About 14 minutes later, he came back. I said, how's Barron doing? Oh, he shook it off. It's fine. It's fine. They're young. They have strong immune systems. Get them back to school, please. We've learned about this horrible plague that was sent to us by China. Our excess mortality rate in America is 40% lower than Europe. You know, you keep hearing Europe is doing so well. They're not doing so well. And we want them to do well, by the way.
Right.
We help them. We help them. We want them to do well. And but they're having a very hard time. Joe Biden is promising to delay the vaccine and turn America into a prison state while letting rioters roam free. You know, they close your churches, they close your schools, but if you want to riot and burn down the stores and have the anarchists out there do lots of it, that's okay. You can't stop that. But you can't go to school and you can't go to church. It's crazy. All Democrat run, by the way. All Democrat run. You look at Portland, Democrat, super liberal Democrat. We could fix that situation. We have to be invited in. We fixed Seattle because we said, that's enough. We're going in. We don't care. We're going in. So we were going in the next morning. That night, they found out about it. They said, we're leaving now. Thank you very much.
What on earth is he talking about?
And we did a great job in Minnesota, Minneapolis.
All right, guys, as we keep an eye on this, I want to hear from some of you guys. We are going to take calls in Discord at davidpakman.com/Discord. If you want to talk to me, get yourselves in the waiting lobby. Make sure everything is properly configured, and otherwise I will be unable to hear you. Let's first go to Andres from Ecuador. Andres from Ecuador, how are you? Hola. Hello.
Hey. Hola.
Hola.
Hola, ¿me escuchas?
Sí. Hola. And he's gone. All right, very good. An auspicious start. Let's go next to Brian from Brooklyn. Brian from Brooklyn, you are on. Brian from Brooklyn, please unmute. You are on. Brian from Brooklyn, last opportunity. You are on right now. Remember, you've got to listen through Discord rather than through the stream. And Brian is gone. Let's go to Trevor from Dallas-Fort Worth. Trevor from Dallas-Fort Worth, you are on. Dear God. Trevor from Dallas-Fort Worth, you are on. Testing. Dear God. For people saying I'm clearly muted, I'm not. I'm not muted. And everything seems to be working fine. And the first guy heard me, then he just disconnected. Let's go next to Lev from New York. Lev from New York, you are on. Please unmute yourself.
Hi, David. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
I'm good. I've just been extremely worried. I'm only 14 years old.
Right.
I've just been really worried about Donald Trump winning and how that could affect me at the world when I'm an adult. And I'm just really wondering, what are the major long-term effects of him getting a second term?
Well, I fear that the long-term effects will be not just what can he do in the next 4 years, but they will also be, does it continue to debase the country in such a way that our politics are disastrous for decades to come? 4 years, you could say it was an aberration. We sort of have some ideas why it happened. There's a lot of stupid people here. A lot of people fell for really bad ideas, and there was a combination of, a lot of different things. But if it's 8 years, I think climate inaction is going to be irreversible. I think the laughingstock that we will be will, instead of I think Joe Biden can basically fix us being a laughingstock in 6 months. If Trump gets a second 4 years, I think you're talking about years in order to repair that.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much. I've had a lot of fears, and sometimes my mind tends to wander, and you kind of are the one that keeps me sane. So thank you very much for doing
Hold on. Did you say you've had a lot of beers or fears?
Fears.
Fears. Okay, because you're 14. You wouldn't be drinking beers.
Yeah, no way.
No. Very good. All right. Excellent. Great to hear from you. And I'm so glad that you're involved. It bodes well for the future of America.
Thank you very much.
All right. There's Lev from New York. Let's go to Mingrui from Madison. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Mingrui?
Hello. Is that me?
You tell me. Is that your name?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm Chinese.
All right.
And I'm here studying in Madison. And I'm a big fan of your show.
Thank you.
And I just have a question. I think I saw a from 538 that the poll shows that compared to 2016 that the Biden has increased drastically on elderly voters, stuff like that, but his lead within college educated population, young people in white, black, and Latino has been cut for about 10%, stuff like that.
So I don't know those specific numbers, but the important thing you're bringing up is typically the Republican does really well with older folks. And by the way, if the stream is playing in the background, please mute it because I'm hearing something odd there, my friend. The lead, Biden is doing better with older folks than Democrats tend to do. Biden is doing not quite as well with younger folks as Democrats tend to do.
Yeah. So
Trump is doing okay. All right, they said all right, fair, good.
Yeah. My question is that compared to 2016, there are marginally more young people that are supporting Trump. So I'm curious because I don't know why there are more young people supporting Trump because compared to 2016 there's literally no populist message, and the whole situation is worse. I just don't quite understand. One thought of mine is maybe when the economy is worse, that young people are more desperate, that they might be more susceptible to right wing like those nonsense?
That's a very interesting inference that you're drawing. I really don't know the answer to that question. It is strange to me that younger voters are supporting Trump at higher levels than they would typically support the Republican. Your idea is an interesting one, and it makes a lot of intuitive sense. And
I just feel like because those young people will be voting like for several terms afterwards, so I mean this will have a long-term effect on future like elections or stuff, and I'm just worried about it.
Well, you're right to be worried. Now, are you working? What kind of a degree are you working on?
Oh, I'm working. I'm a PhD student.
Okay, and what field?
Oh, in material science.
And do you expect to stay in the U.S. once you are a doctor?
I don't know yet. I'm quite confused. I'm like second year, and I just don't know. There's so much uncertainty right now in the U.S., and it just I'm really not sure. Like there are some aspects here that I really admire, but there are just so many things to consider, and it's just.
Is it fair to say that your decision to stay or maybe go back to China or go somewhere else would at least somewhat be impacted by the political situation at the time?
Yeah, definitely. It's just a strange time. Like I think maybe 10 years ago it will not be a very important factor, but right now it just definitely will be.
All right, my friend. Well, thank you. I hope we all get good results on Tuesday.
Thank you for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. There's Mingrui from Madison, Wisconsin, presumably. Love it. Okay, let's go and check in with a couple of other people. Why don't we? Let's go to, where are we going? There's just so many people. Let's go to Boris from the Netherlands. Boris from the Netherlands, you're on.
Hi, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
Am I audible?
You're perfect.
Okay, nice. Well, what I've been wondering, the chances might not be that high, but they're certainly there. If Texas turns blue, might the Republicans finally agree with abolishing the Electoral College? Because they then lose all the advantage and reason in keeping it.
No, I still, if Joe Biden were to win Texas, Republicans aren't going to say, let's get rid of the Electoral College, because they're going to lose if Biden wins Texas, they're going to get crushed on the popular vote. So I think they're more likely to figure out ways to just cheat their way back into winning Texas is most likely.
Mm-hmm. Might there be any other way in Biden winning that could help the Electoral College to be dissolved?
I mean, I still think even with a Biden win, the most likely path to getting rid of the Electoral College is something called the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact, which doesn't really depend on Biden winning. So I'm hoping that Biden winning will maybe create some momentum to finalize, get enough participants in the NPVIC, which is something you can look up. If I won't explain it now, but it's a project. I don't think Biden's going to do it. I don't think Biden will be able to lobby for a constitutional amendment to change, get rid of the Electoral College.
Yeah. Well, at least thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Great to hear from you. Very informed folks from the Netherlands. Let's go to Sage from Orlando. Sage from Orlando, you are on.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was going to get put on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, Sage.
I just wanted to know a really quick question. If Trump does get elected, which I really hope not for another 4 years, how do you think that's going to bode for trans people?
Not well. Not well.
That's not good to hear.
Listen, I think hopefully he'll just forget about it, and then he'll just do something else, and he won't dramatically hurt trans folks. It's just with Trump, it's sort of like, what shiny object does somebody put in front of him and get him obsessed with? So I'm sure Trump would love to do some things to further attack trans people, but it's quite possible he'll just be busy with other things, and it'll just really be a sort of luck of the draw thing, sadly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Sage from Orlando. There we go. Let's next go to Susie from Minnesota. Susie from Minnesota, you're on the air. Susie from Minnesota. We had such a beautiful streak of perfect phone calls. Would love for you to unmute so I can hear you. And last chance for Susie from Minnesota. Susie, I'm told that you are deafened. You need to undeafen your entire system there. All of your elements must be undeafened. All right. And that's too bad. I was looking forward to speaking to Susie from Minnesota. Let's go next to, we've got a bunch of people from, let me go to Cody from Virginia. Cody from Virginia, you were on.
Hi, David. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So I was just calling to ask you a question about a talking point that I heard from the right today.
Please.
I was listening to the Candace Owens and someone else's debate.
It's funny already. Yeah, go on.
It was Tommy Lahren and Brian Conan, I think his name is, or something like that.
Okay.
She asked him, what has Biden done for the last 40 years of being in office or whatever? And he couldn't really give an answer. Do you have an answer for that?
It's a very stupid question because it's like, what did Trump do before he was president? The question is, what are their platforms as presidential candidates? It's like Biden, while he was part of the Obama administration, got the stimulus done. He helped get Obamacare done. Biden, as a senator, much like every senator, sponsored and helped get through all sorts of different bills, stimulus packages, financial regulation. Do they want a list of things? If you give them a list of things Biden's name was on, then they'll say, well, but Biden didn't do that alone. It's like, well, right, that's how being in the Senate works. It's 100 votes. It's one of the stupidest discussions. The question is, what does Trump propose to do in his second term? He still hasn't even answered the question other than saying he'll do the things he promised to do in his first term, versus what does Joe Biden have on his platform for president? That's what matters.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I like to know how, like, when these things come up in my life, what the best ways to respond to them, you know?
Listen, it's 36 hours before the election. If that comes up in your life now, the way I would respond is saying, are you really so stupid that that's what you're saying? Do you even understand what's implicit by asking me that question? Does a list of Joe Biden's votes from 1992 determine whether you'll vote for Trump tomorrow? Are you genuinely that stupid? That's how I would react at this point. There's no time for this nonsense.
Yeah. Usually it comes up in my family, though, so I can't be like that. But
Oh, okay, fair.
All right. Well, I thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate that. All right, let's get to a couple of other people. We don't have unlimited opportunities, but I do want to hear from some folks. Let's go to Fed from Spain. Fed from Spain, how are you?
Hola.
Hola.
Causo mucha desgracia si hablo en español.
No, Fed is asking if it's okay for him to ask in Spanish. Por favor.
Vale, gracias. Muchísimas gracias, por cierto, por pillarme la llamada. Te descubrí hoy en Twitter a través de Nanismo, que es un periodista español que está cubriendo las elecciones en los Estados Unidos. Y siempre me ronda la cabeza una pregunta, y es que desde aquí, perdón a todos los que no me entienden, ¿vale? Lo siento.
I'll translate, don't worry.
Siempre me ronda una pregunta, y evidentemente el candidato o el presidente de los Estados Unidos influye muchísimo en el resto del mundo, creo que especialmente en Europa. No sé exactamente cómo podría influir una reelección de Donald Trump en esta parte del océano. ¿Cómo lo verías tú?
So the question is, given that the president of the United States so significantly influences policy within and with Europe, how would a Trump re-election influence that? So ¿puedo responder en inglés? ¿Está bien?
Sí, creo que te entiendo, sí.
So I'll answer in English. Essentially, Donald Trump being re-elected would keep the United States less as an ally to Europe than an adversary, which unfortunately is what the United States has become. And unfortunately, because so many of the economic powerhouses are in Europe and Asia, but in Europe, we're going to be on the outside again for another 4 years. On climate, we're going to be going at it alone when it comes to trade and doing ridiculous things like the Chinese trade policy, the trade war, the tariffs, etc. So Trump for another 4 years doesn't bode well for relations with Asia, and it doesn't bode well for relations with Europe, unfortunately. So my expectation would be to see Europe say, if Trump gets 4 more years, we just have to do our own thing. We can't count on the United States anymore if Trump gets reelected.
Ok.
¿Qué te parece?
Bueno, inquietante.
Yes, disquieting. Muchísimas gracias. Aprecio el llamado.
Muchísimas gracias. Y gracias a los que han dicho que tengo una voz bonita, por cierto.
Okay, very, very nice. There it is. A beautiful phone call from Spain. A perfect phone call, I would even say. Let's go next to Matt from Hickory, North Carolina, in the same place as Trump is speaking right now. What's going on there?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. There's something almost traumatic about seeing the mountains and the skyline I grew up with in the background of that Trump stream.
Yeah.
You know, my step-grandmother is there tonight, and she's elderly, and I'm honestly concerned about her health being in that crowd. I know she's not wearing a mask. I guess I have less of a question, more of a comment. I'm working on a degree from home this summer.
Yeah.
And I spend a lot of time working from home. And the only time I really get to get out is when I go for a drive out in the country. And it's country I grew up in. It's very rural. The number of Trump flags and signs is just alarming. Every 5th vehicle on the road is a pickup with 1 or 2 or 3 Trump flags flying from the bed. You made this point earlier about you think the potential for political violence is in the cities, but I'm just really honestly worried about what will happen to the rural folks.
It's not that I don't think things will be happening in rural areas, and I love that you're saying it that way and not rural, as we've heard some people say it recently. I think there will be things happening in the rural areas, but due to the lower population density, there will simply be fewer of them in terms of the number of people affected. That's my sense.
Right.
But I don't think you will be unscathed. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, our family's honestly scared to put a Biden sign in our yard.
If I lived in some of these parts, I would also want to just be seen as non-political. I would not want to be public about my political orientation, to be perfectly frank.
Right. Well, thank you for taking my call. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Great to hear from you. And the best for grandma. I would be worried. Let's go to one of our... well, hold on a second. Let me bring on... I want to go to... Jabby Gats, but it looks like Jabby Gats is already on. Jabby, are you, how are you? I didn't even bring you on. Is it because you're a moderator that you're just here? I'm trying to, do I not have control over your audio? That can't be.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just moderating. I don't
okay.
take up from anyone else. So you can go ahead and just pull someone else on.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, listen, I really appreciate your work and all of the moderators. You're doing a hell of a job.
Thank you.
All right. Jabby Gats. There we go. An errant phone call there with Jabby Gats. Let's go to Tom from Latitz, Pennsylvania. You're on.
David, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, what's going on, man?
How you doing?
I was just wondering about the disconnect in the polls in Pennsylvania. I don't know if you've seen this.
Yeah.
The Philly suburbs have, like Montgomery, Bucks County, have some weird differences in polling on the level and the local races compared to the state level polling.
Yeah.
Trump did really well in the Philly suburbs, which is one of the reasons he won. Now, those polls this year, they're way out of line with the state polling, which shows him relatively close, and the local polls kind of show him not even having a chance in that area. I was just wondering what you make of that, if there's any that could
so here's my thought.
Or
I have seen this. If you look at state polls, Pennsylvania looks much closer than if you look at some of these local polls. Do you know what this means?
It means to vote.
That's exactly right. I didn't even need to. You could have taken this phone call and fielded it. That is absolutely all it means. I don't know what to make of it. We are 36 hours out. And all it means is we must vote because we don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. I mean, as you can tell from Lititz, Pennsylvania,
yes.
We had a Black Lives Matter rally here actually in July. It was led by a 17-year-old girl who just graduated high school.
Yeah.
So we're not all crazy red hats.
I believe it. No, I know that for sure. And I know it's Lititz, right? Is that the right pronunciation?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but there's nothing better than pronouncing it Lititz. Okay, listen, I hope that you guys are on the right side of history on Tuesday.
Absolutely. Already voted. Thank you very much.
Excellent. All right, there we go. Let's see who else we can talk to. Why don't we go? There's just we've had a lot of parts of the country covered so far, but I'm trying to see where else I want to go here. Why don't we go to? Is this Alicia from San Francisco? I can't see the full name for whatever reason.
It is, yes.
Alicia, how are you?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Good. It sounds crazy where you are.
My 3-year-old. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine.
We're in San Francisco. It's a little crunched here.
Yes.
Thank you for taking my call. I was
Pleasure.
just calling to tell you that we have 2 first-time voters here. I'm 33. He's 38. We voted for Biden. We weren't really into politics before, but he's kind of a middle-leaning right, and I'm more left. So we have a lot of good discussions with each other, but we both ended up voting for Biden, which was great. And I also got a friend of mine the other day in Texas who's not into politics, got her to vote for Biden as well. So I'm really happy about that.
Great.
Yes, but I just wanted to see if I could. I know you have a lot more people that listen to you than me, but I wanted to know if I could just shout out the number for if anybody's intimidated at the polls with what's coming up in the next 2 days.
Yes, and before you do that, Alicia, I know that do you have a national number? Because I'm aware of a list going around of state numbers where in each state you need to call your state, but is there a federal number that you're referring to?
Yeah, the 866 our vote.
Please.
Yeah, I just wanted to let anybody know that if anybody comes up and questions you about where you're from, your status, or where you live, anything, tries to intimidate you in any way, that's not a poll worker. Poll workers aren't even allowed to ask you those questions.
Right. The only poll worker you'd be talking to is you get to the table and you explain who you are and give your address.
Yeah, and they check if you're eligible. And I've put it on Twitter, it's gotten a lot of retweets, but I just wanted to come on and see if I got picked to let everybody know that if you ever feel intimidated about voting, it's the 1-866-OUR vote, OUR vote.
866-OUR vote. Is that the number?
Yes, correct.
Perfect. All right, Alicia, thank you. Let's hope for good numbers on Tuesday.
Thank you so much, David. Have a good day.
All right. There it is. There is Alicia. Donald Trump is continuing to speak. That is going to do it for me. This is the same as every rally, and there's another one later today in Florida, and I think there's actually 2 more rallies scheduled today. It's sort of all the same. I'm done with rallies for today, so you can continue the coverage on other channels if you want, but I will be back with you guys tomorrow. Thank you for joining me.